Ayo! Welcome back to another episode of the Rap Dad Podcast. I'm Junes, and across from me...
Hey, it's Melancholy.
Damn straight.
Still getting comfortable over here.
It's all good. You know what it is, and you know what it is.
I
and
do.
If you don't, you guys are about to know. Thank you for everybody that's been subscribing, tuning in, listening, sharing, commenting on the Instagram. We appreciate all you motherfuckers. And if you haven't been doing that, make sure you give us a follow on Instagram at the Rap Dad Podcast.
Set your thing to auto download. Get us those downloads.
Bang, bang, bang. You can follow us on YouTube at the Rap Dad Podcast. Make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell. We post videos every other Thursday and a bunch of shorts and clips from every episode. And you can follow me on Instagram at Reno Junes. You can follow Melancholy at Melancholy775. And you know what? Instead of doing all that work for you guys, or you guys doing all that work, you can just go down in the description. It's all there. Hit the links, give the follows. I mean, it's just a two-step process for you now.
Yep.
No reason not to. And enough about us. We're always talking about us.
Always talking
It's always about us. Enough about us. Our guest tonight is a Reno vet, someone I've looked up to, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, event party maker, and super rap dad. We got Metaphysical in the house.
Hey,
what up, my G?
What's up, gentlemen?
Dude, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for taking the time out of your extremely busy life to come sit down and talk to us for a little bit, man.
Nah, man, I appreciate it. It's an honor. It's crazy to be on this side of the camera. You know, I've been checking you guys out. It's really dope. Like I was saying, I really enjoy the podcast. I like what you guys are doing for Reno. And
thank you, man.
It's surreal to be on this side of it, chatting with you.
It means a lot coming from
For
you,
sure.
honestly. Like I'm still a little bit nervous,
I'm nervous.
just because we've been music acquaintances in the Reno scene for 10 plus years now, but I don't think we've ever sat down and had a conversation like this. So I'm still a little bit nervous because I still always have, and I think I always will look up to you. You know, as an artist. I mean, you're one of the first people in the scene that gave notification to me and Libs. You're like, oh, dude, you watched us rap at the Tea House, some random show that you guys were also on. And yeah, you've always been super authentic and super cool. So thank you for that. First off, I got to say that first and foremost. But like I said earlier, before I start saying stuff and we get into conversation, I need you to drop your social medias. Let the folks know where to follow you, because you got tons of music and all types of stuff. So
okay, let's see. Instagram, it's at Metaphysical 1, the number 1. Let's see. YouTube, we just figured this out. It's at Metaphysical Video. And let's see, what else is there? Facebook.
If you want folks to follow you there.
Yeah, I do have a Metaphysical page. Check me out there as well. We also have a Black Rock City Allstars page that is at BRC Allstars on Instagram. So.
There you go. And as always, like I said, all of that will be down in the description.
Yeah.
We'll make sure you have links for everything.
I need to get my social media catalog together. I don't have it memorized.
There's people that are really consistent with putting music out, and when they come on here, I don't tell them that we're doing that, and I feel like I surprise them sometimes. They're like, shit, and it's like, sorry about that. So that's why I wanted to let you know we are going to do that.
Yeah,
it's a lesson. It's definitely a lesson. If you want to be serious about this, you should know it. So don't be like me, you guys. You know, learn from this.
One thing we've learned, which I never even thought about prior, is having your name the same thing on every single platform.
Yeah, that's
that
a
way,
new generation thing.
Yeah, and it's like I never even thought about that.
Don't feel too bad though. I can never remember mine. That's why June says it in the beginning all the time.
Yeah.
I can never remember it, so he's like, "I'll just do it."
Yeah.
I love it. Nice.
But yeah, anyways, dude, I got so many questions. I mean, I have a feeling we're gonna have a part 2, have you back on for a second episode, because I have so many questions, and you've done so much shit in your music career, and even your later life in fatherhood and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I mean, to be a black belt, obviously. takes some fucking serious dedication and work and time invested in that. So, you
just gotta be crazy.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so I have so many questions. I have a feeling we're probably going to have you back on. That way we can cover a bunch more stuff.
Hey man, it's an honor. Like I said, I appreciate you guys for real.
No, same here. But I do want to start, maybe back from the beginning.
Okay.
I want to tell the folks, and I also want to know a little bit about you. Growing up, kind of. We were talking a little bit earlier about, high school and back in the day in Reno. What got you into music, and how did, your whole path on music start, and how old were you? And, just give us a little bit of backdrop on that.
Let's see. I'm originally from California. I was born in a small town called Visalia out in the country. And then I lived in California for a while. And then my father, we moved out to New Mexico, Albuquerque, New Mexico. I was out there, and a lot of my childhood I was out in Albuquerque, between Albuquerque and California. And then my parents kind of split up, and my mother was in California and my dad was in New Mexico. And I kind of did the 6 months in school, then I'd be failing, and then I'd jump to the other parent, and then I'd do 6 months over there, and I just kind of did that for a while. And when I moved to Reno in 1993. I was a junior. My junior year in high school, I moved and I went to Wooster High School. And I don't know, I was really into, I guess, underground hip hop. It was very I liked Tribe Called Quest. I liked before that I liked Dougie Fresh.
Okay.
Get Fresh Crew. I liked Roxanne. I found a cassette tape. I wanted a Walkman. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I had Walkmans too.
So these kids, nowadays probably won't know what a Walkman is.
Nah.
But I wanted the one that you could pop a cassette tape in. And the reason why was I found this cassette tape at the park, and my parents didn't know about it, and I just tucked it, and I wanted a Walkman. So for Christmas, I got roller skates and a Walkman, and I popped it in. It was like Dougie Fresh, Get Fresh Crew, Roxanne, Lottie Dottie. And it was a dope mixtape, and I just loved it. I loved the show, and everything was exciting. And then just through the years, my mom is from the Philippines, and so when you're from a Filipino family, we're very musical. My grandmother would have
karaoke's.
Well, they would have you perform.
It's like a national sport over there.
Yeah, they'd be your grandma would be get up there and do the Michael Jackson, and you get up there and you do Michael Jackson. And,
okay.
But I really liked hip hop. Michael Jackson. I love Michael Jackson. I love the intensity and the superstarness. But something about when he moonwalked, or I liked Breaking. That show Breaking. Breaking 2, Electric Boogaloo, all those stuff. Turbo, Ozone. I loved that. And I really loved popping. I loved the kids in the corner with the cardboard. So it just drew me in. I liked that everybody was just expressing themselves, and they could be cool.
Just that something that was different.
And everyone was happy. It wasn't like no one was putting each other down. If they were getting shine, it was because they did something amazing. Yeah. And it inspired people. So that got me on the path. And so when I moved to Reno, I went to Wooster, and I don't know. I kind of I think I had a chip on my shoulder, and I was playing basketball, and I got into it with some kids, and some of the kids, there were some other kids that saved me, and I ended up making friends with them, and I don't know. I just started kind of blending into the Reno scene. It was really tough back then. It was very
especially
small.
Being the new kid too.
Oh yeah, new kid.
Everybody knows how that is.
Well, Reno was a weird place back then. It was kind of a cowboy town. It was a very small city, and it was tight knit. And I think I probably had a chip on my shoulder being the new guy. And I think in art class I met Damon Dowdy. Dialect HD. Okay. He'd be a good one. He'd be a good one to get on this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
Another rap dad, a true rap dad. And he was very musical. We were talking about hip hop. It'd be like, us sitting down and he'd be like, "Oh, you like Tribe Called Quest?" And you'd be like, "Yeah, I like Black Sheep."
Yeah.
And, back then, these are the groups that we talked about, because out here at that time, the guys I was coming across were really into more like the gangster scene. It was more like gangster rap,
Yeah.
And it was just, and this, obviously this is where I was at. It wasn't everywhere. This is just kind of like the school we were at. It was kind of more, so it kind of made me extra be what I thought was hip hop. Like I was fat laces on the Pumas and like, just I don't know. I really wanted to rep that. I wanted the people to know that I was like about that.
Yeah.
Lyrical,
The real shit.
I don't know. It's just when you're a kid, you're trying to find your lane, and a lot of the stuff. We would go to parties and stuff, and like guys would want to like, fight with us, and so we would just kind of want to be our own little thing, and we would, it always comes down to girls, you know what I mean? If the girls,
when you're young,
it's a mating ground, and we're like
100%
getting attention and stuff. But as we got older, we learned to embrace the scene, and it got to the point where, like, I think just because I got older, I started loving everybody's craft. Like, because of the struggle that I was going through, I was no longer just competing. I think when you're young, you're competing. You're like, who's going to like us? I want them to like me. I don't want them to like you. I want them to like, I don't care if they like you, but they got to like me too. Yeah. And that attitude was very like, they call it crabs in a barrel, pulling each other down. But it got to a point where, like we were talking about the green room, right?
Yep.
That was this open mic they had downtown, right? And it just started, the culture started developing. It started with some competition, but then it was like people started watching. Then more MCs started coming. And then you had a guy that was on some more gangster type flows. Then you had a guy that was on some super scientific flows. And they all would come together. A lot of times I just get on there and just flirt with the girls in the crowd. Like, which was like it's a weird balance,
Yeah, for sure.
And I don't know. For me, I thought it was fun to make a party.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Something where we all could be involved in.
Yeah.
So. Anyway, and what I guess I say, forgive me if I talk too much. I told myself I was going to talk and let my thoughts drop and not like overly.
You're good. That's why you're here, man.
Yeah,
you ain't gotta worry about it.
I will literally talk. Me and Richie just did some interviews, and I will literally talk the whole damn time. So
that's what you're. That's literally what you're here for. You're here to talk. I mean, that's what this is. It's a podcast. So
I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. No. So you met Damon in high school.
Yeah.
So you guys have known each other for fucking days,
dude.
You guys have been boys for a super long time. So obviously, I mean, as I said earlier, you've done so much shit in your musical career. When did you and him started making music together officially, like making music like, oh, let's rap. Let's us rap instead of us be fans of rap.
Yeah, so it was crazy because first day of school, there was this girl, and I can't remember her name, but I was a junior, she was a senior, and she skipped her classes and followed me to every class.
Oh, damn.
For a week. And so we were in art class, and I'm hanging out with this girl, and Damon's like, this is crazy. He's like...
that is pretty fucking crazy.
And I was like, I didn't really think of it. It was kind of fun. I mean, I kind of liked her.
Well, yeah.
But, I don't know. I really don't know what I thought. And that got him and I talking. He was like... So then my art teacher, Miss Edwards, shout out to Miss Edwards, if you're out there somewhere... She kicked her out of the class and said, you're not in this class.
Stupid.
Yeah. And this girl had a whole other curriculum. I wonder what happened to her.
That's so funny.
Anyway, yeah.
That's so funny.
So Damon, he's like, I make beats. And I was like, oh yeah. I was like, I got beats. I had like a little mixtape of beats that my boy had given me. And when I moved here, and Damon was like, I was like, I think I was going to play something for him. So he came to my house. I moved over into this mobile home park. It's by Rattlesnake Mountain. It was Rio Poco. Somewhere back there, there's a mobile home park.
Yeah.
I know.
Foxfire Apartments. I don't know if Foxfire is still here, but that's where we were at. And Damon lived over there and some houses over there too. and he's like, I got this cat that raps with me. His name is Chaos. And that ended up becoming Hot Steez. I don't know if you know Kyle Eastern, Hot Steez.
Yes.
Yes, Element. So we all kind of...
Yeah, so this is like the foundation before Element crew started, right?
Yeah, this is before Element started. So I met those two had a group. Damon and Kyle had a group. I met them. We linked up. We started... so I feel like I was very outgoing and kind of in some ways with the teachers and stuff. So because of where I'd come from, I used to rap at dances and assemblies. I can't remember how it started. I would do like anything I could to get on the mic.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I think
it's that Filipino background.
It is,
you know?
dude. Well, I won a student body president when I went to like ninth grade, and I beat this kid who was hella popular because I knew we had like 4 or 5 schools mixing in, so not everybody knew us. So I just rapped. Everybody's up there and they're like, I'm going to give you longer lunches. I'm going to give you, cupcakes at recess. You remember those things?
Yeah.
I went up there and just spit this rap. It was like a don't do drugs rap, but it was just, and I used Freaks of the Industry from Digital Underground. I used the da 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 love to love you, baby.
That's going to be great how that comes full circle.
Right.
Dude,
I can't wait. We're not going to get into it yet.
Dude, and
I want to bring it back.
And I took the first part up to where it starts, and I push pause on the cassette tape. Then I fast forward it, and then I took the little part at the end where it's like, "Yo, piano man, take us out of here." And Shock like just plays this piano outro, and I rapped and I started my dubbing on the, and you guys know it's old school.
Dude, I used to dub tapes too. I used to take my mom's tape and put tape on the top, then just record. Radios. I take my brother's tape, steal them from him while he was not stoked about it, and be like, "Oh, I got the new Souls on Ice from Razkaz." Yeah, like I trust me, we are right there with you, my man.
Dude, and you know what? You could get it on time. So I had that cassette and I rapped over it. So I don't know. Anyway, so full circle forward. Me and Damon, there's a school dance. So I was like, you know what? I asked the principal. I was like, let us rap at the dance, And so he did, and it was cool. It was like, it wasn't super cracking, but it just showed us that we could do it.
Yeah, dude.
It showed like there was a couple cats there at the school who didn't really, on the hood side, that didn't really like me too much. And I felt like after I did that, they kind of like warmed up to me a little bit.
Bars.
It was just like, I don't know. It was just like mixing the worlds. I like to mix things. Like if you're good at drawing and you're good at like advertising, I want to put you guys together. Like this is the guy. And then you do pictures. Well, this is the guy that's gonna get your pictures out. I like that. And so that's what it was. Like Kyle Steez was like bars. Like Hot Steez has always been probably the rawest spitter in our crew, or one of the ones that we all looked up to. Like the guy you're like,
well, I mean, the name is fitting.
Yeah,
dude, we're sitting here writing our verses, and then Steez is like, he spits his, then you go like, damn, you gotta rewrite it real quick, and then Damon's the producer. He used to take so Steez had a Casio keyboard, and you could like record like 10 seconds of something. Do you remember those keyboards?
Yeah.
Do you remember those?
Yeah.
I don't know. And you just you record, you push record, and it just records whatever you hear.
Yeah.
So you'd play something. Well, we figured out if you played the sample fast, like I don't know how he did it, but he played it fast somehow, and then he recorded it. He could make it longer, so he would
stretch it out.
Yeah,
somehow.
he did it somehow, and it was just
scientist shit before fucking.
Dude, it was
before Ableton.
Before the programs.
It was like Kyle had some of the equipment. Damon's dad had this extensive record collection because they're from Detroit, right? Yeah. Shout out to Andre Sr. Rest in peace. And he had this extensive like Motown collection, and so Damon would take he would take Isley Brothers. He made that Biggie Smalls beat, that Big Papa beat. Yeah. He made that before that came out. Like I'm not saying that they got that, but he was already on that.
Yeah.
Like, and I remember thinking to myself, I was like, this dude is clean. Like, when you find, you're like, damn, I've never seen some shit like this. Well, because everybody, I'm a member of some of these like hip hop things, and people are like, that's not that tight, or he's not tight, or this person's not tight, or that's not that dope. but you have to put these things in context of like when it came out.
Absolutely.
Because like if they dropped this off on a desert island right now and we had to start from ground zero, the day you made fire, that'd be a big day.
Absolutely.
And 20 years from now, when we're all back in civilization, you'd be like, that's not big of a deal. But if you did it without nothing, it was a big deal.
Absolutely.
And I think that's some of the stuff that was amazing. You're like, this guy's different.
Fuck yeah.
This guy's different.
How do you even figure that out, dude?
Yeah, I don't know how he did it. There was no internet. Damon used to get magazines and stuff. Like, so I was like, he's amazing. So, okay, so me and Damon started this group, and we had a crew. Illside was our little crew, and we would do graffiti, and we'd deface some property. But we try to do things with. I wasn't into tagging as much as I was trying to be a graffiti artist. I wanted to do pictures and characters, but I wasn't that good. I didn't really know how to do it. I think I have a better idea now. Matter of fact, if I ever get a shot again, I might. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I might hit a legal wall if they have that Sun Valley one anymore.
There you go.
They do, you know. Uh-huh. Anyway, so shout out to the artists. You know, I love artists. I love art. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's Damon and Damon, Kyle. So we started going through. We did a lot of assemblies. We did, you know, any time we could get on the microphone. We did. They'd have like. What was this place called? Oh shit, I can't think of it. It was up on McCarran. They have these little clubs that they'd be like little night spots, and they'd have
like all age nights.
All age night,
Yeah, okay.
and we would get up there and rap. You know, anytime we could, we would get up there and rap, and car shows, whatever. And then So
what, you're probably like 16-ish?
16, 16, yeah.
Like what, sophomore, junior? You said junior.
Junior.
Oh, so yeah, probably about 17.
Yeah, 17. Around my senior year, I got in trouble, went to Wittenberg Hall for a while. And
which is, if you
that's
folks
the
don't
old,
know,
yeah.
that's the old juvenile facility.
Juvenile facility.
I remember being in Carson City, and they'd be like, "You're lucky you're not going to Wittenberg." I'm like, "Dude, why does this sound like some crazy old book prison from a book from the 1912?"
And you know, I met so many cats through Wittenberg, and I met so many like Reno legends. You know, cats who, I mean, on the street side, guys who are, you know, get in trouble. I was with them in juvenile hall, you know.
Yeah.
And so got out of that, kind of trying to steer my life into some different directions. And I was still in high school, and I ended up moving out. I moved out. I left home, and I was my senior year. I lived out in this place called El Rancho Motel, across the street from the pepper mill. It's torn down now. And so I lived out there, lived on my own, and with my girlfriend. And I don't know, I just kind of got a taste of Reno. Like Reno's kind of grimy. Like I went from kind of like Rattlesnake Mountain was kind of like, I don't know, not a suburb, but it was kind of like a neighborhood.
Yeah, you're tucked out over there. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I moved to like now I'm on Virginia Street with homeless people.
Really close to downtown.
Right by Pepper Mill. I worked at the old movie theater. There was a movie theater that was like the Century 21 Theater. It was like right across the street from that Gym Boys. And I worked there, and then I ended up working at the Pepper Mill, and, you know, and just kind of just grinding, you know.
Yeah, like not being a kid.
Yeah, you know, and I was a basketball player, and I actually had a scholarship. I was doing well, and I just kind of fucked it off for a girl, and fucked it off for like just being young and wanting to like, I don't know.
Make your own decisions sometimes.
Yeah, you know. So anyway, in that time, I was at the Pepper Mill, and I met this guy. His name was Ricky Hendricks. He said his cousin was Jimi Hendrix, right? And so we worked at the buffet together. And he's like, "Yo, I want to meet this cat. He's from Texas." And I was like, "Oh, I don't want to meet." I'm always like, "I don't want to meet." Sometimes I'm like,
"What is he, a cowboy?"
Well, sometimes at this point in my life, I was just like, because everybody wanted to like rap, and I don't know. I was just like, I don't want to meet him. He's like, "No, meet him." So he introduced me to him, and his name was CD Dash. They call him Dash, right? And so me and CD, we clicked up. And he was super cool. He was like, he's from all over the place. His family, I think it was like his stepdad was in the military or something, and they bounced around. So he had been like on the East Coast in like DC. He had been in the South. He was very soulful, and like Element, we were very militant. Like we were very like anti-government and war, and anti like diamonds, and anti like I don't know. I might have been a bit much on the hater, not hater, but I've tried to curve that. I think I was just like, when you're young, you're just like, fuck everything if it ain't what I'm not about.
Exactly.
I
for sure.
I hadn't learned to like accept other people's things yet, kind of.
That's that teen angst, though.
Teen angst.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because to me, the best shit is like a grimy ass beat, break beat, like.
Oh yeah.
And we're just coming in spitting, just killing it, right? And I remember when we met Dash kind of like, he was kind of soulful. His bars were very kind of singy. So it was cool. It was like he joined us. So Dash became part of Element. And so we started doing more shows, and we kind of started putting singing in our hooks. We had never really done that. So at this point,
you guys had changed the name to Element now? You guys had become Element?
Yeah, the first, so if you go back, when we did that high school thing, Damon came up with, we'd laugh about it now, I think it was Third Explosion. And then we laugh about it. It's like, it's funny. But we changed it to Negative Element. It was the Negative Element crew. We were Negative Element at first. And that was because we were like considered the negative element of society. And, we were also considered like underground. So we kind of felt like that. It was like below the surface,
Sure, yeah.
And there was me, Damon, and Kyle. It was like, we all wanted to be Element number 3. Like it was just all like this, I don't know. It was this vibe we were on,
Yeah. Trust me, I know. I was in a group called Audible Poets.
Hey!
I know about young rap names.
Dude, I love it. Audible Poets. I love it. It's creative. You're trying to find your lane. Trying to be
just trying to figure out what the fuck you are about, and you're still figuring yourself out as a person, let alone as like what you're trying to do with art.
Yes.
And art imitates life. So, it's just going along with it. So, I mean, we all fucking know.
Yeah. So we changed the name to Negative Element. It was, and then Dash joined, and the guys, Damon and Dash, worked at the roller skating rink.
Roller Kingdom.
Is it Roller Kingdom? Yeah. King's Skate Country? No, Roller Kingdom. Yes. So Brad Armstrong, that's the homie. Shout out to Brad, the tall, cool one. He knew MoneyB from Digital Underground, and
okay,
he knew.
I don't even have to. I was going to ask.
Yeah.
How did that all?
It's all just unfolding. We just gotta listen.
So we were doing shows. I mean, we had been doing up to this Digital Underground thing. We had been doing like car shows and shows at these little clubs and just anything we could get on the mic. House parties, that was a big thing.
Getting that stage time.
Damon was like an exceptional promoter. He was doing like pajama jams, and we would do things and we would perform at them.
He's always done that. Fridays. He always has his own thing.
He rented like a room at it used to be the Reno Hilton. The GSR before it was the Reno Hilton. He rented the whole thing out. He had his mom collecting at the door, and like I was like, he got an operation. Like,
that's so gangster. Hustle's real, dude.
Yeah. When I went to their house the first time, he didn't even have a bed. He just had turntables and speakers and like a futon. And I was like, this dude is like so hip hop.
Yeah, like this is all he cares about.
I'm like, and your mom lets you do this. Like, I love it. Like,
so cool.
Yeah. I always support it. I mean, to this day, they still have the studio that we record at. In his mom's basement, and she lets us record and work on stuff, and we just stay out the way, and it's amazing. So shout out to Mama Linda Dowdy.
That's
always.
Fucking rad, dude.
But man, that's a huge piece because it's interesting because that you talk about the rap dads, and then you have your rap moms, and it even goes back to our parents.
Absolutely
supporting our stuff. You know what I mean?
My father was a musician, so he's got pictures of me like up on stage at like 3 years old in my fucking diaper and shit when he's playing like shows in Lake Tahoe that are like house parties in the forest and shit. So it's like
dope.
It is like it does go all the way back. It's a generational thing that you don't really think about,
Yeah, for sure.
Super dope, man. That's super dope. So yeah, man. So we're Brad, the tall, cool one, comes up and he's like, "You guys want to open up for?" It wasn't even Digital Underground at the time. It was MoneyB. So if you know who's in Digital Underground, you got Shock G, who was his alter ego was Humpty Hump. Okay.
Yes.
And then MoneyB was his right hand man, who those two are the ones who kind of go back and forth on all the songs, right? So MoneyB was doing a solo project, and it was kind of like a compilation. It was really MoneyB and like a few of his homeboys, his cousin, one of his had like a cousin named Cletus Mack. Shout out to Cletus Mack and shout out to Money B. Let's see, Cletus Mack had a group called it was Clee and John Doe, this other cat John Doe. So they had a group. I think Mystic might have been on it. Or maybe she wasn't. I'm not sure if she was on that one. But it was a few different acts, and Money B was doing his solo stuff. And it just so turned out that Shock G came. He came to just support. It wasn't really a true Digital Underground show. You know, it'd be like it wasn't a Glass Tongue show. It was like one of your shows.
Yeah, but Morale came.
But then Morale came to like back it up because everybody wants to see you guys.
Yeah, okay.
You know.
Yeah.
And so it was so we played at this Dick Taylor Park. It's over there. It's over there off of by the YWCA, or I don't know. Oh, what is it now? It's Evelyn Mount Center, I think.
Oh, okay.
It's a field over there.
Yeah.
And they set it all up, right? Car show, and we opened up for those guys, and it was like the stage was like a portable stage, like a fifth wheel stage or something.
Yeah,
right?
as a kind of pull up and they just like fold it down.
Yeah, and if you listen, there's a song by Shock G we did with him called "Perfect Life," and he's like, I never thought that Shock, the first act to bring Shock back, would pop up in a hot dog truck in Reno till we got back to the casino. And he's talking about this stage, you know, when he met us. And so we played with him there, and then we were supposed to do a second show at the at like the Boys and Girls Club or something. And I don't know, man. I felt bad. I went with Shock, and I was hanging out with him, and I was just so like enamored, and like he was amazing. He's so cool. You're just like hanging on every word, and you're just like, he's just putting you up on game, and you're just like, I just want to hear everything.
Yeah, absolutely. And, trying to take it all in.
Dude, he's like magical. Some people are magical. Like you get around him, and you're like,
I mean, you can tell by his legacy and the characters he had and the music that he made. He was different.
He was different, and he was
a different human, dude.
He was truly kind to like all people. Like when he says black, white, red, blue, yellow, or brown, he really meant that. Like he truly was. He was nice to everybody. He would listen to cats. Like if you wanted to spit, you're like, yo, I got this thing I want to spit for you. I want to freestyle. He'd be like, you know, some guys might be like, you know, chasing girls or running around. He'd stop and be like, no, all right, spit it. He'd be like, all right, or come with us.
Yeah.
You know, and I love that. Like I love
That's so cool, dude.
Yeah, because you know it's
rare.
It's important. You know how important it is to people. Like some people, like they're going through their life, and the most important thing they got going is their rhymes, their music. You know, sometimes it's not even really about the money. Sometimes it just helps you get through.
Absolutely.
BS you gotta get through.
Yeah, dude, it's therapy.
More than anything. Therapy. And it helps us with each other. Mm-hmm. Like it's spawning this whole creativity.
Absolutely.
For sure.
You know, feels good. The energy feels good. And I don't know. So Shock was really about that. And I was like learning who I was going to be. And I was like, I want to be like that. You know what I mean?
Was this still around the same time frame, or are you guys a little bit older
So
now?
we're probably a little bit older. We're probably, this is like 96. So I probably graduated from high school. We lived in, I lived in Lakeview Apartment. I moved out of that El Rancho Motel. I moved across the street to Brinkby. We lived in Lakeview Apartments. It's like right behind Robin Hood, that whole neighborhood.
Right over,
yeah. So we were over there. Demond.
So did I. I lived right off Rondell and Grove. Like,
Rondell. We do. I think we all made the cycle.
Yeah.
There's a cycle. There's a circle. You know what I'm saying? So I lived in Lakeview. My boy Raj, sister lived in Lakeview, so he was always there. Hot Steez's baby mom was like next door to my apartment, so he was always there. We had this like element, was almost like I don't say it was a gang because it wasn't a gang, but it was just we had a lot of guys, and I think we at that age we were getting into it with people, you know, and I don't know, we did have that. We had a little riot, a little rumble with some cats and different things, and Reno almost sucked me into like the dumb shit.
Especially when
it'll
you're
do that.
Too. Yeah,
God, when you're younger, it'll do that to you.
Drugs,
and
fighting.
We got a wild nightlife in this city.
Wild nightlife. You're fighting for territories and stuff, and just dumb stuff. And we got past all that, and now we're probably about I don't know. We're probably like, so it's 96. I'm probably like 18 years old, something like that. Okay. You know, and that's when we met. We did the show with Digital Underground. So after that, what was it? Dash had linked up with their road manager. The road manager, his name is Johnny Van Leer. He's Money B's cousin. And Dash and Johnny kind of developed this relationship. And they were like, yo, Dash was like, let's put this, let's step this up. Let's step our group up. Johnny's gonna get us some recording time. And we're gonna start going out to the Bay Area. So we started driving out to Oakland every weekend. And we recorded at Money B's studio. And talk about some real hustler, like Hustle and Flow. You know these movies we watch?
Oh yeah.
John, I would say I would be shout out to Johnny Van Leer. Like real talk, like I can't even say thank you enough. And I'm sorry for anything I ever did being ornery, because I'm ornery sometimes, you know what I mean?
Especially when you're young, you got that testosterone going, and you think you know everything.
I don't like to listen.
Yeah,
I never want to listen when it comes to people telling me stuff. I'm like, I don't want to listen, But Johnny, they were trying to make us into a group, like a real group with hits. And the thing is, we need a hit song. Like you want to make a hit song. Like, I was still just I was just trying to hang. I wanted to, not to make it a black white thing. It's like, but it was like, we were in the black hip hop world, I feel like. And it was like, everybody was so raw. And then even the white hip hop world out here was so raw. You used to talk about unified school district and who cares, and everybody was eating. They were lyrical. You guys, it was like they weren't just weak MCs. So I just wanted to hang. I didn't want guys to look at me and go, "That's the dude." That's the white dude from the group, or I don't know what he is. He's okay. I don't know. They don't know what I am. Like the black dude's like, he's not black. The white guys are like, he's not white.
I bet you people will probably just assume that you're Mexican or something.
Yeah, the Mexicans are like,
especially back then. They'd be like, the Mexican dude. You're like,
the Mexican dudes are like, he's not Mexican.
No,
Filipinos like, he's not.
I'd be more Asian than Mexican. What are you talking about, bro?
I'd have no place if I go to prison. I'm like stuck. You know what I'm saying? So. It was, for me, I had like a chip on my shoulder. I just wanted to eat. Like, I'm going to back you guys all up. Everybody's going to back up off of me. Nobody's going to mess with me. And for me, it kind of stifled my art. Like, I was just too busy trying to, like, fight. And it was actually Shock who kind of, like, brought that to my attention. He was like, music can be a beautiful thing. And, you don't have to always fight everybody, and I don't know. So
you can chill a little bit,
or you can make your point and keep going. Like, what else you got? Like
absolutely. Yeah. That's actually way better advice. Like you can still say what you got to say.
Yeah.
But you
don't have to say it 17 times on this
album.
You don't have
to be aggressively backing it. Just let it be known and move along.
Keep it moving.
Yeah.
So. Are we good?
No, we're good. I'm just checking everything because I had some questions, but you're literally already covering everything. So
am I? My bad. Well,
no, you're good. You're good.
This is better than me having to interrupt you and ask questions.
All right.
So you're out in the Bay Area recording.
Yeah, recording with Money B. We went to we recorded this famous studio called The Grill. It was in East Oakland, and it was a famous studio. Like it'd be guys like the Loonies. Loonies would be in there, and like Drew Down, or like Mystic was in there. Or there'd be like these producers, this cat Dot from the Mechanics. They'd be recording people. So Johnny would like bring us in, and it'd be like, imagine if somebody did a podcast like you had the 8:30 with Meta, right? So you got somebody come in at like your cousin's like, yo, let me do a podcast real quick at like 7:30. And he's like, knocking it out. So we would go in there and we didn't know who, who these, we knew who these guys were, but we didn't know, I don't know. We just didn't know. We thought it was cool. And like Johnny would get us in there, and it was dope. And we would record, and we did songs with Mystic. And we just started meeting these cats,
Yeah. Being in there.
Being in the mix. Yeah. And then in 1999, I kind of, I had this girl, and I got married. I got married.
Shit got real serious.
Yeah, it got serious. It got serious, and it was crazy because she was a dancer, an exotic dancer.
I was gonna say professionally.
And yeah, professionally. And we got married in Vegas, and she used to dance in Vegas, and I was on some like Wild West like. I don't know. I thought I was doing it. I was living in the budget suites and hanging out with the pimps and like had girls at Olympic Gardens and cheetahs.
Yeah.
And, you know, I just thought I was like doing it. So I stopped
Making
doing music. And
yeah.
and around that time, Damon and well, go past that. I actually came back and I came back to Reno and I got a job, got married, got a job. I started trying to like kind of square up a little bit, right?
Okay.
And I stopped doing music, and Damon, Kyle, and CD went on tour with Digital Undergruind. This is 1999 or 98, 99, something like that. And they went on like a 2-month tour, and a 2 or 3 month tour, right? And they were gone. And I was like, I couldn't believe it. I was like,
that's probably eating at you,
Yeah.
dude. I mean,
Gosh,
and this
kicking
is
yourself.
That's a dream.
this is a real tour. Like this is a U.S. tour.
Yeah.
They're doing everything
with a national headliner that you guys have a relationship with.
It's crazy.
That's different than like buying on.
It's a it's a
exactly.
dream come true because like some of the shows like the Shock would get with like Digital would get like are like the summer jams.
I was gonna say I've seen pictures and shit, and it's like that's like 8,000 fucking people they're in front of.
It was like 20,000 people.
So
we performed at the Gorge. They would have the Cube 93
Dude, that is
Summer
the
Jam.
Gorge?
The
The
Gorge.
Gorge.
Yeah,
Holy
and in
fuck,
those
man.
days, they used to let you camp. So I don't know if they do it anymore.
They
I think
still do.
Yeah,
They
you
do?
can still
Okay.
camp,
Yep.
They stopped for a while. But like, I guess, so they would have like, we went on right after Outcast and like before, I don't even know who we went on before, but it was just like you're backstage.
That's so
and
surreal,
You're
dude.
back there with Busta Rhymes, Andre 3000. These guys are just walking around.
Okay, hold on a second. Let's take a break real quick.
Okay.
When we come back, I have some questions about this shit specifically.
Okay.
This is what I wanted to get into.
Okay,
the
let's do
fat
it.
of the dopest
Let's
shit.
do
ever.
it. Let's do it.
All right, we'll be back in 1 second, folks.
Peace.
All right. We had our break. Thank you guys. It was 14 seconds for you guys, if that. But yeah, we had to listen back real quick because we had some chats in between.
Extended break. on
Yeah,
our
we had
part.
an extended break. I mean,
Kicking it.
this guy's got so much stuff. We're going to have him for a second episode.
Oh, yeah.
But besides that, you were talking about how you're playing a show, at the Gorge, and, you played after Outcast.
After
Outcast.
Outcast.
The Outcast.
And there's people backstage like Busta Rhymes, and it's just like this huge, Summerfest.
So
Tell us a little bit about that.
well, before you jump in, so like what stage of Outcast are we talking here? Are we talking like first album? Are they
This
like
is 90. Let's see. This is probably like, it's a 96. No, this is probably like closer to like 90, like 2000 maybe.
it's probably what, like eight aliens?
Maybe AT
I was going to
aliens.
say, I think that
Aliens?
would be
Maybe AT
okay.
aliens. Me and you, your mama and your cousin too. Type.
That sounds
era.
right.
I don't know, but
Or
It was-
Aquemini. It's either
I-
Aquemini or eight aliens.
I-
AT
honestly-
aliens. I
AT
feel
aliens,
like
yeah.
I feel like that would be it.
I
yeah.
gotta look for my pictures. I think through my actual, because back in those days, you took pictures with a film.
Yeah, you're like I have to go get these.
I have to-
developed
so
at a
I have
physical
a-
place.
Got to go to the dark room real
Yeah,
quick.
in my storage, I got pictures, developed from 35 millimeter, but I gotta find them. But and I know the headliner that night, which was probably like, we went on. It was daytime. By the time
Because it's a festival, so it's
Yeah,
all
yeah,
it's
yeah.
summer jam, so it's
it
all
was
day.
packed. Like I have a picture of Dialect on the DJ stand, and I also have a picture of Dash and Dialect throwing popcorn, and we used to throw popcorn and champagne on the crowd in these big like trash bags in the Digital Underground show, and just cover everybody with popcorn. It just kind of made this party vibe, and you see it, and it's just like thousands of people, and it's wide. You know what I mean? And behind us is this gorge.
That's got to be the craziest feeling.
It's
in the
crazy.
world, dude.
Well, it was crazy because like we didn't really earn it. You know what I mean? Like we got put on. We got a chance to like roll with cats who earned it. Shock, Money
Well,
B.
that's how you earn it, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's how you earn it. But it's crazy because then it's like, you have white vans picking you up from the airport, or not from the airport, from the hotel. And it's all of us, and we got passes, and then we get there, we're passing all the traffic and all the thousands of people.
yeah, there's a tour manager telling you when you need to be here. Hey,
Be
at 10
here.
o'clock, you got to be here. You got to do this. All you have to do is just be like, all right, we're doing this.
You're doing this.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's like you're passing all the lines, you're passing everything. You're seeing this Kraken show. You're like, this is that
As an artist, this is everything that you.
This is everything
that you want to do. You work towards. You know what I'm
dream.
saying?
You dream of these
Yeah.
moments. If we were just here as fans, we would be like, "This is cracking. This is spring break." You know,
Absolutely.
South Padre Island.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
Perfect way to put it. Dude.
yeah, you know. So being there, and then that night, like the headliner that night was Busta Rhymes, and it's at Spliff Star.
Okay, yeah.
Wow.
And he killed it. By that time, it was dark. You know what I mean? And then by that time, we're walking down the crowd.
Yeah. The gorge.
Dude, it was and he killed it.
And like 2000s Busta, that's like,
Dude.
that's like break your neck.
It was
Yeah.
it was
Yep.
warrior.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it was phenomenal. And as a fan, like that was one of the cool things about Digital Underground. Like it was a college. We called it Freak University. You know what I mean? And I feel like I'm a graduate from Freak University, and like so all these shows we would do. Like I remember we did one with De La Soul, and
That's amazing, dude.
Yeah.
so Late Night Billy. We talked about Late Night Billy.
Yeah.
One of his early shows.
Shout out Late Night Productions.
Shout out Late Night Billy. He actually, one of his first shows was Digital Underground in Lake Tahoe at like the Boys and Girls Club or whatever. It was the rec center or something.
The YMCA. Or
Yeah,
some shit.
it was something like, it was like one of his early shows there. And then he booked a show out in San Jose, and it was Digital Underground, De La Soul, and Blacklicious. I think Blacklicious was there.
Fuck, dude.
Yeah,
Get
dude,
the
it was
gab.
like, and then
Goddamn.
and then in the De La Soul show, Drez from Black Sheep came out, and I don't know, bro. Like it was like these are the kind of like we'd be backstage because Shock knew and Mun knew everybody.
Of course.
These guys would come over to talk to him, and you're just sitting there looking. You're like, that's plug one, plug two, plug three.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, that's it's just all these people, and then
Getting put in that environment.
yeah, you do the show with Digital, and then you go out in the crowd, and then you watch them, and like I watched them do. I watched Engine number 9 on the New York. And here's the thing: there's this girl.
Pick it up.
This girl gave me she gave me some Molly in like a foam cup, and I don't know. Back in those days,
Styrofoam cups
yeah, we had
weren't a
performed. I
thing.
was living my
Yeah.
best life. She gave it to me. I immediately threw up, and I was freaking on one. I was lit, right? I was super lit, and I'm sitting there watching De La Soul. Then we're watching Black Sheep, and when he did that part, I know this is gonna sound crazy. I probably shouldn't even say this, but it seemed like the whole ceiling opened up. Like I never really had visuals. I was never one of those people like in those movies when you see
Yeah.
those guys and you're like I
that's-
never just saw
yeah.
stuff. But I swear to God, I was so lit. Like it seemed like the sky opened up and it was just like pyramids and like, it was like some spiritual like.
That's
I think that was
amazing.
more than just Molly, though.
Dude,
sounds
I don't
amazing,
know, bro.
bro.
It was crazy,
Some
but
LSD, brother.
but it was like it was powerful, and I don't know, man. Some of these experiences, different cities. We were in Chicago. Crucial Conflict would come through. All these different groups. Who was the one down south or on the West Coast, East Coast? You had Digital Underground had so much love that some of the classic artists would come out.
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
And you would get a chance to see them, or they would be performing, or Shock would bring them up on stage.
That's the thing.
Just universally
dude.
respected.
It would be like
Yeah.
if the Reno scene was the international scene, and it was like, oh, Black Rock's coming through. Cool.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, oh, yeah, come to the show.
June's gonna come and get on the mic with us.
Yeah,
and maybe
exactly. It's so sick, dude.
like he would drop. Makes
me love hip hop so
Well,
much.
Shock was on
The family I never had.
Well, the Loonies had a song called "I Got Five on It." Everybody knows the weed anthem.
If you don't, fucking what?
Well, and they had a remix that had like all the
Yeah.
Bay Area guys, right?
Yeah.
So Shock was on that remix, and so whatever town we were in, if one of those guys that was actually on the remix was there, they would jump on it, or he would have like Devin the Dude sometimes, or just different whatever city we were in.
What a great co-feature.
That's like the perfect.
You're in Texas,
yeah.
and Devin the Dude.
Devin the Dude would show up.
Okay,
yeah, and he would
should have been on that song originally.
He might spit
Exactly.
something, or and it was just a way of
Insanely underrated, by the way. Can I just say, Devin the Dude
is shit.
Dude.
Yeah. Shout out Devin the Dude.
There's a song somewhere. He brought us back to his studio after one of our shows in I think it was Houston, and he has a song somewhere with Shock and Dialect and MoneyB and Devin the Dude. I wonder if it'll ever come out. Maybe Essential. There's a cat named Essential. He might be on that song too.
Damn, dude.
I wonder if they still have it. It'd be cool if he did.
Yeah, so doing so many shows, like that, and enjoying yourself, we shall say. Sometimes you may not have a memory of all of the shows. Do you have one that stands out specifically in that era?
Man,
More than the most, where you're like, oh, dude, that was amazing. Because, I mean, Summer Jam at the Gorge sounds pretty fucking incredible.
That was one of the big ones. You know what? It got broken down into different kinds of shows. Just like almost like
Didn't you guys go to Australia?
We went to Australia. That was an amazing. Went on tour. Was out there for 3 weeks. As I was out there, we did one show. There was I think Prince Paul. What's that guy? So there's a bunch of these underground cats. Casual from High Row was there.
God damn.
Australia was like America, maybe like 10 years prior, to where they were still like loving,
still
loving the boom
bap, and they were like, and it was like we went there, man. We were like superstars. Like even me, I was like, I got treated like all the love, and it was
I mean, you're on tour with Digital Underground.
Yeah, you're like on national TV on some things, and you're like getting like it was crazy. Like we were on like the equivalent to like the MTV out there.
Damn, that's dope as fuck.
At the time, for certain shows, and stuff. And we went to Adelaide, which is South Australia.
Just wearing the baggiest pants ever,
dude. Yeah, and what else? So there was a show in Perth, which is like. It's on one side of Australia, and then Adelaide is South Australia. Then we did the Gold Coast, which is Brisbane, and we did a song. Actually, there's a song we did with these cats out there, and then we did Melbourne, which is kind of like a San Francisco-ish type of city, and then Sydney, like a San Francisco type of city. It was cool, man. I got to drive a car on the wrong side of the road.
I was gonna say,
there you go.
It was awesome.
Is that weird or what?
It was awesome, man. I drove across that famous bridge. By the Opera House and stuff. Yeah. Drove across that. Dude. I had a good friend of mine. She hooked me up and we got a car and we were like, she let me drive around. I was like smashing around.
Yeah, you're like, I'm in another country. That's
cool.
Dude, and it was great, man. It was like probably if I didn't have kids, I probably would have stayed. But I would have stayed. I had one son back then. I probably would have stayed in Australia. But no, it was a blessing just to get a chance to see the world and meet more people.
No, absolutely. I mean, that boosted your obviously your love and drive for music and shit like that. I imagine that's the reason you continue to do it for so many years after, because obviously, as we've heard, there is points where you're like, you took another path where you might not be doing it for a while, but you've always been driven back to it.
Always come back.
Yeah. I think it's your home, obviously.
I think it's just like you guys, all of us. It's like if you love it, you do it because you love doing it, or you love to hear it, or you love to practice it, or you love to be around it. If you're doing things because you love it, then you're winning already. It doesn't matter about, you obviously you would like someone to hear it.
Of course.
And you'd like people to like it, but sometimes that's not a good metric of success. Success is just how I feel like, in my opinion, success is life. Like how successful you are in life, and everybody's goal is different. If you're doing music as a hobby or because you love it as an art form, there's nothing wrong with that. I think if you do want to be competitive, you do have to take a little bit of a different path. Yep, kind of like some of the little dotting the I's and crossing the T's that we were talking about earlier.
Yep.
With the touring and stuff. You don't have to do it, but it's just like anything else. The more you are on your game, you're setting yourself up for better success.
For sure.
Absolutely.
But everybody's path's different. Maybe we don't all want to be in the UFC. Maybe we don't all want to be on tour,
But if you want it to be your job, you need to treat it like it's your job.
Amen,
yeah.
brother. Amen.
One thing that I was told, and I've said this on here, and I've told other MCs this that are younger, and be like, well, how do you do this? How do you do that? One thing that Jimmy taught me, he's the person that introduced me to Matty B. He's the reason that I even got into the Reno scene. He was single-handedly the one person that gave me beats, introduced me to the scene, showed me the green room. Like,
that's dope.
if it wasn't for him, I honestly don't know where it would have
Jimmy.
gone. It's Jimmy.
That's Jimmy.
Jimmy Perkins.
Jimmy Perkins. That's the homie.
Yeah, no,
That's my brother right there.
And he told me, he's like, one piece of advice I can give you is nobody's going to take you serious until you take yourself serious.
Yeah.
And that means however you want to take that. That's what it means. But I was like, well, I'm selling a product. It's the music we're making. It has to be a brand, and instantly that made sense to me. Like if you just are like, oh yeah, I freestyle or whatever, people are like, oh yeah, he raps at parties. But if you're like, no, I have music, I play shows, people will look at you like a legitimate artist.
They can find you later too.
Exactly.
Yep.
So it's
Find your catalog.
It all depends on how you want to do it. You know, there's a lot of people that make music and record music, and nobody ever hears it.
Yep.
Yeah.
They do it simply because they love to do it,
Dude.
And they might be some of the most amazing artists ever.
A lot of these cats that I work with, I mean, even like Dialect, I'll sit there. He's got thousands of beats. Dash, they got thousands of beats.
Right?
Steve's got thousands of beats.
It's nonstop, dude.
And they don't always post them. They sell them sometimes, but they're gonna make them no matter what.
Yeah.
It's what they enjoy.
What else am I going to
Yeah.
do with my time, you know?
Yeah, it's like I skate all the time. I'm a skateboarder.
Oh, nice.
I'm not trying to fucking get sponsored. I'm not trying to go pro. I don't give
love
a shit.
it.
But I can't never stop doing it. Until I can't do it, I'm not never stopping it. Ever. Never not stopping, ever not quitting.
So maybe it's about just
That love, dude.
just knowing what you want to do, like being true to yourself, finding out what you want to do, and it changes. Maybe at one point you don't want to do it so serious, and then maybe you do want to do it serious, and then maybe you kind of like want to back out for a while, or you become a dad, or and
Absolutely,
you just do whatever phase you're in, whatever point you're in, do what you're supposed to do, act accordingly.
Bam.
That's
100%. That's a good ass piece of advice, man. So we're gonna switch lanes a little bit, and we're gonna talk about some of the newer stuff you're doing, because you're getting back. Now you're getting back into music.
No, you're good. No, we're gonna have the second part.
We're gonna 100%
have to get you back.
on. Yeah. But I do want to talk about some of the stuff you're working on recently now, because obviously you've been doing music for a long time, and then you talked about how you took a break. You said you took a 6-year hiatus, something like
pretty
that.
much.
You've been dadding super fucking hard.
Yeah.
Obviously, like I said earlier, you're a black belt in Jujitsu. That's not like something you do casually.
No.
Like I skate every Sunday.
Well, how long
for 2 hours?
How long did you skate for? You probably been skating for a lot of years. 15 years.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
So you're a black belt in
totally.
skating, even if it's on a casual level.
I'd probably be a purple belt, honestly, with how consistent I am. I'm not consistent enough, but it's
Can you
definitely.
ollie?
I can definitely more than ollie.
See,
I can
you're
fake
a fucking
you, I
black
can
belt.
fake you front. I can fake you front.
See,
crook shove
I
it
want to
out,
see it now. I gotta look for the videos.
Yeah,
I bet you're good.
I can skate. Like,
Good.
I can
You're a
skateboard,
black
like,
belt, bro.
Really skateboard.
Put that kind of time
But
in it.
You It has very much
and,
so.
And so the game has changed. And like we were talking about earlier, how the scene's changed.
Yeah.
I feel like the world has changed. Like it's definitely gotten a little bit like harder.
Oh, for sure.
More expensive. Some people say we're trapped more. But I also think in these hard times, beautiful art comes out, especially from those who just start doing it because we love it.
Sure.
Are true to ourselves. I'm a dad, you know. I'm 46 years old. I'm not a kid, you know what I'm saying? But I still probably think I'm about 16 in my mind, you know?
Absolutely.
You know.
That's what matters.
Yeah,
you know what I
that's
mean?
the biggest thing. It's like
If your mind's young, your
if
body's
you start
good.
being like, I'm 72, it's like,
Dude.
well then,
Yeah.
You know, and we have a chance to do some amazing stuff, you know. When imagine us at 16 having this setup.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We would be killing it.
We talk
you know
about
what
that
I
all the
mean?
time. It's like, God damn, dude.
Yeah.
And there's a world out there where you can save it and find it.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
like
we'd be making videos.
you have no idea how
yeah.
lucky you youngsters are. You really don't. Like,
You were born into it.
If we were 16 right now and we were at your mom's house and you had this set up, we would
Crushing
be
it.
making videos every day. We would
Dude.
be making songs. You'd write yours and tell us, and then you'd have yours. I'd be
yeah.
like, "Here's mine."
Yeah.
That's what all this is.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know?
100%, dude.
Now we're just older and we have responsibilities and we can only do it, you know, one day a week.
That's the
you
thing.
know?
But the thing about it is that you still find that love.
Still find the
with it,
time to do it.
You know, and that's kind of, I'm guessing, what brought you back. I
Yeah.
mean,
Time
obviously,
management.
yeah. I mean, you're working with one of our past guests we've had twice, Richie Panelli.
Yep.
You got some stuff coming out with him.
Yep.
Anybody that's watching this probably heard us talk about several times the Glass Tongue Summer Showcase.
Yep.
He came in and he did the set with Richie. So yeah, no, he's been getting active as shit. And we're gonna end the episode here in a little bit. When we do, it's a song.
Yeah.
His song featuring Richie Panelli.
Nice.
It's called Bella. So, I mean, what I want to know is the shit you're working on right now. This brand new stuff. Obviously, some of it might not brand new. Like you said, Bella is a song that's, what you said, 10 years old?
16 years old.
16 years old. Holy shit.
Yeah, we made the song and then I named my daughter kind of off of the song.
There you
And
go.
she's a
Yeah.
junior in high school now.
So, the stuff you're working on is this just like one that you're plucking out from, from the archive, or is it going to be like that for this project, or is some of it all newer? Or let's talk a little bit about the stuff that you're working on with Richie and what you're going to be putting out.
Yeah, so basically, the project is called The Art Department. That was kind of my crew. Like, that was my whole thing. And I always felt, I remember Ernie from Who Cares used to tease me about it, because those guys are the real, like, artists with the drawing
Yeah.
and the painting.
Graffiti. Yeah.
But he was always like, "Oh, we're the art department," you know. And that was my whole thing. And I was like, the art department was cool because that's where I met Dialect, and we could all come together. Like, you might be like, we might all like rap, but like you might have your side of it and mine, and we just, so we make our picture and you put it on the wall. And I'm like, "Yo, I liked how you did that. I didn't think of that." And you're like, "I did mine black paper with white chalk." Oh, I was like, "Ooh, like that was clean. It was inverted," you know?
Yeah.
And it inspired us. So I was like, I got to do something cool, you know? And so Art Department was the concept. Me and Richie made that song years ago. He came over to the studio. I had a studio I was working out of, and he's like, "I got this DJ Ethic beat and blah, blah, blah." And so we jumped on it and we recorded that song Bella. And years later, we ended up recording another version of it to this cat named Joey Gola. It was his beat. And the Bomb Shelter, Buddha.com. Shout out to DJ Ethic, Buddha.com, and Joey
Check
Gola.
out the episode with the Bomb Shelter.
Yep.
Dude, that's the homies right there. So they would play that other version of Bella on there sometimes, you know? And it was like, it was cool, you know? It happened for years. So anyway, I started working about 6 years ago. I started working out at a factory, and I started kind of just stopped doing music. I was doing Black Rock City Allstars. That's a whole another chapter. You know, shout out to Darren Dove Toomer. Shout out to Janess Carter, Hot Steez, Kyle Eastern, Dr. Andre, Damon Dowdy Brothers. It's a whole crew. We have a whole crew. Two Keys.
It's a whole nother life. Dude.
Yeah.
2 Keys. It's a whole other chapter, you know, it's a whole other chapter. So that was what I was doing, Black Rock City Allstars, for a lot of years, like from 2007 probably through to currently. You know, we just did George Clinton, Parliament, Funkadelic.
Yeah, the summer, 4th of July or something.
Shout out to
right?
Late Night Billy on that one. The Exchange, like live music a hip hop group amongst live bands, which is,
I know.
it's a crazy opportunity, But anyway, so we moved past that. Anyway, so we're doing the art department. I started just putting songs out as I'm at work on my break or something. I would just find these old songs just for me to listen to. Half of it, I'd put them on Instagram so that I could kind of just,
Yeah.
And I was like, I like my songs. And I kind of didn't listen to them for a long time. And I was just
Absolutely.
I was just feeling it. I felt like I feel like we're all antennas. Like we're all antennas and we're just catching transmissions. So we're hearing the same thing. So like all of a sudden, if boom bap starts sounding good, we're hearing it through each other's ears. And then we're like, yo, this is the vibe right now. Like right now, I feel like boom bap and just like 90s hip hop is kind of like,
Oh, it's
popular.
Coming back around.
Very
It's
much
popular,
so.
and
Nas
it's
has been crushing it.
and it always goes in circles. It gets back to underground, and then it gets super wordy. And it's like I'll pull your cerebellum through your vernacular. It'll get
Some
super crazy,
necro
right?
shit, yeah.
And then
Nonfiction.
people will get away from that, and then it'll get super dumb. We're just saying like, we're not saying much for syntax or like,
Yeah.
and that's all it is. It's ping pong.
Yep.
That's really what it is. And people are constantly trying to do something different, and people are always pulling from the past. Like we did it, like we were sampling, bands and break beats and stuff.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Digital Underground did it. They were sampling George Clinton Parliament Funkadelic breaks and horns and guitar riffs, and they were slapping them together. That's like all the old. That's like what hip hop was. So I don't know.
Is that what the art department's going to be? Is it like a mixture of kind of everything that you've been doing for the last 2 decades almost?
Kind of. So basically, I had this whole album art department, and I made all these songs, and I kind of was doing what you guys are doing, to where I was playing a lot. So I would go downtown, and I started at Tonic, and then I did El Cortez was the hotel, and they used to have a lobby, and they had open mic. Well, they didn't have open mic. They had a karaoke. They had a stage.
The little karaoke setup.
Yeah. So I actually made friends with the guy that was running it, and I started doing nights there. I had I don't know if you know who Tristan Seltzer is, and I had like Mark Sexton, some of these like bands, these guys who are pretty big. I put this little showcase, kind of like what you guys would do, and I would just do it like, at night, because I was like, Reno's got this like movement. It used to be cracking. Like,
oh yeah,
you didn't even go out until like midnight, 1 o'clock, and then you were up at 6 a.m. It was still cracking. So I would do these showcases because they were trying to get business there, right? So then I started doing hip hop, and then I would rap. I'd bring I don't know if you know who Darren Dove Toomer is.
Oh, yeah.
Dove, Black Dove. He would come out, and he was a phenomenal freestyler, phenomenal vocalist. One night, the bouncer there, this cat was like, I got this girl. She wants to perform with you guys, or can she open for you? Because I basically just, it'd be like you having the ranch house and just kind of doing what you want with it. Yeah. But you're downtown where there's a stream of people walking by.
Imagine Singer Social Club.
Right.
That's what it was for me.
Singer Social Club, exactly. So they're just coming by. So you don't need people to come to watch you, because you just need to have a sound, and they will come to you. I kind of learned that from Burning Man, making a camp that if the music's good, people will just flock to it. So I kind of was banking on that. So one night they're like, I got this girl, and it was her name is Platina. And and I ended up telling her real name. Everybody called her Jessica, but her real name was Janess. And I was like, you should go by Janess. Like, that's a dope ass name. So it's Janess Carter. So if you know Janess Carter, she ended up with Mojo Green and The Exchange. She's got Janess and the Juice. She's like superstar, like singer now.
She's dope as shit. Yeah.
And so she joined us, and I had a few different other cats, and it was me, Claude Tampa Riggins, Darren Dove Toomer, Janess Carter, Danny Spade, and then Damon Dialect Dowdy. He was kind of like, he was like our big brother, like kind of like helping us mix things, and we were learning the dubstep stuff. But anyway, so that was kind of how we got into the Reno thing, and I started moving into just doing a lot of live shows. So I did this art department album, and we'd make a song and we would just go do it. like we record it and then go do it tonight and see if it would crack. If it cracked, I put more energy into it and I started trying to make it because there was no really internet to. You could do. I don't even think SoundCloud was out at that time. It was maybe just starting.
You're performing songs that you just wrote.
It was MySpace music on your page, stuff like that.
I still do that shit. There's
Yeah.
songs. I mean, we'll perform them live like for months. For months and months and months before they ever even get released on streaming
just to
platforms.
see if it works.
Yeah, and then I'll go re-record it, because sometimes you'll write something, you'll perform it a bunch, and it will change a little bit, like you'll learn the flow of it, and it will fit better.
Yeah.
You're like, that's way better than it was originally.
Yeah.
Go back and re-record it, then you release it. So, no, I understand that definitely, and especially when you have a group of that many people.
Yeah.
That's a lot of moving parts.
So, and that was kind of what it was, because when I was first doing these shows, it was Metaphysical. And then I'd have Dove with me, and I'd have Janess, Tampa. So I felt
And
weird.
it was called the Art Department?
Well, it was called.
prior?
The album was called Art Department. And that was like my crew. That was like my like if who was it, like I don't know, Snoop having the Dog Pound or something.
Okay,
it was my like my little crew was the Art Department. That was my company.
Your D12.
Yeah, that was my little. That was my like. I was trying to build a brand and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And so we started doing these Metaphysical shows, and I had all these guys with me, and I felt kind of like, you ever seen La Bamba where that guy, like, he's got Richie in the group, and he's like doing all the singing, and the name of the band is his name. It's like Metaphysical and the Heartbeats, you know, and so that's when we started doing Black Rock City Allstars.
Okay.
So we changed it to that, but so prior to that, we were trying to do these songs.
You're working on the Art Department.
And I was just recording every night. I'd be in the studio. I'd be up all night. We're downtown. We're on Keystone. People would be coming off.
That studio that was right behind that gas station.
Right, the gas station.
That shit was fucking dope.
So
dude.
it was dope. It was.
I've been there for after hours party once or twice.
Dude, yeah, exactly.
Shit was cracking.
Dude, that was my thing.
Super dope.
My thing at that time was
It's 3 a.m. They're like, we're just getting here. I'm like, I'm fucking going to bed soon.
Dude, well, that was the thing. Like, I actually, my recording sessions, there was a time where it was a party. Like, people be coming through, be guys, girls. You're getting lit. You just
There was
chop
like
through.
fucking 50 people there.
50 people there,
It
but
was
maybe
sick, dude.
2 or 3 of us might be like
Shout out to
working.
Jimmy for bringing me.
Yeah, and it was, the vibe was great. The girls would be coming through. I like that. It gets you all hype, and then it was so fun. And it was like, I will say, like, the creativity when you're partying is amazing.
Of course.
Where I learned where it wasn't so good was it's easy to start a song and be all creative, and then listening to it tomorrow where you're like, oh, I was slurring my words, or that little horn that was like, I thought it was so. It was so Egyptian at the time. Yeah. Now that shit is all
like,
off key.
Correct.
And that's what rap is like. You gotta sit down and mix your song.
Yeah,
you gotta get your EQs right. You want it to sound really good. You want it to be crackling. You want it to be popping. Mm-hmm. Do you want to hear every time I'm rapping going, Meta's in the house. Yeah, rocking with Junes.
Yeah, you better cut those
out. That type of stuff. You start to learn, and I will say, like, so our department. I had hundreds of songs, 100 songs maybe, right? Some are finished, some are unfinished.
Yeah.
And then I got a couple with Richie that we just never put out. So Bella was one of them. And so Richie was like, yo, people were liking it. And Richie was like, let's do a video to it. He had bought a couple of videos, and he was like, let's do a video to it. I don't know if you've heard of Full Price Media. Mm-hmm.
Of course we have.
Julius Tanks.
Yep.
So he's been doing a bunch of videos.
Yeah, he crushes shit.
Yeah, he's really super dope. And Richie had done some videos with him. So we were like, the song's about going to work, right? And it's like, I'm in a minivan. My part's I'm in a minivan, and I'm like, I know I could be more. And it's like, I should be a drug dealer right now. It's like, no, I don't want to be a drug dealer. I should go to the military. He's like, no, I don't want to go in the military. I'm just going to go to work and just be a regular guy. But it's like, I'm sad because I know I could do something.
The ambition.
And it's like, I
feel like that every day driving to work.
Well, it is. Well,
God
and the sample had a thing that goes, Bella. And it was like, we made it to like, Bella was like beautiful in Italian. And it was like, or Spanish or whatever. Or no, it was Italian. And he was like, because Richie's Italian, and he was like, okay, well, it's like the beautiful life, the music life, And like I said, I named my daughter after it, kind of after that song. And I don't know, it just felt like, I don't know, I wanted to make it special. And I had no idea.
Like it's kind of a personal song.
Well, yeah, and years later, I had no idea, like, people were going to like it. So people kind of like that breakbeat it sounds like Wu-Tang, or it sounds like just, whatever. It just sounds like a dope guitar riff over some break beats. And so Richie's like, let's do the video. We went to the bomb shelter because I thought, what would be dope is if we were like in the car in a traffic jam and you turn the radio on. And I wanted to do like a scene where like I was bald and had a mustache. I wanted to do like a Breakfast Club, like hey, we're here in the morning, and like you be a crazy character, and we're like talking about what honking stuff, honk honk, and we're like, hey, with Meta in the morning, blah blah blah, and they were gonna change it. I was gonna have like a girl changing it or something, and then they went to the bomb shelter where they were gonna be like playing some like some Murs or some kind of like atmosphere, some kind of dope like hip hop type underground type stuff, and then they were going to play Bella, and then it was going to be this whole thing. So we ended up doing the video. We didn't quite get all those scenes in like that, but it was dope. We did go to the bomb shelter where they do their broadcast, which is in the back of the Beach Hut Deli, which is, it's a great place. And it's sick because all the artwork on the walls is like,
just tagged.
It's Ernie, and it's like, it's just
dude, fucking dope ass, legitimate, legendary artist.
Lopan, all
dope.
the ill cats. They got like Star Wars and like
it's sick.
It's like a dope ass clubhouse. And
it used to be the arcade.
You know what I'm saying? And so it's cool, man. And so they let us shoot it there, and we kind of mixed it. And we're in a work truck. Me and Richie we're in a work truck. We're working, on our way to work, and it's cool. It's a cool little video, and it kind of spawned. Richie was like, "Yo," because I had some other songs too, and Richie was like them because I had scratches on them, and I had this one called Pirate Radio, and it's just like it's a boom bap type of track, and I got DJ Femur, Daniel Rooney is the DJ. He scratched on it, and I played that for Richie. He was like, "I want to get on that," and I have one called Bread and Butter. It's got a Nina Simone sample in it, and it's about like bread and butter, like getting your money for life. Yeah. But it's a get your money song, but it's not necessarily like, I don't know, it's not glorifying the wastefulness of it or the like it's nothing, because it's actually everything. It's really hard, and if you're doing illegal shit to get the money, then you're really risking everything
for sure.
And then if you're doing square shit to get the money, then you're really risking a lot of your time and your physical body. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean, in your life. So getting money is important, and it's everything. It's not nothing. So
no, absolutely, absolutely. So the project that you're working on here, do you have like a set release date for it?
It was supposed to be, Richie said October 31st, but it's going to be later because we're still getting it mastered, and it's not going to be mastered in time. So I think we're getting it mastered around November 19th, and then which gave me more time to work because Richie is fast.
Yeah, dude.
Like he's nuts. Like that cat is on some, like he'll knock him out. He'll send me. See, we're on some like Rap Dad.
Oh yeah.
Writing now. It's like we used to just like come to your house and we just sit here all day and get lit and write and now it's like send me the beat. I'll write
get back to you in a week or two.
I can't record until Wednesday night on my day off. Then I go to the studio and try to knock out 2 or 3 songs and blah blah blah. So it's hard, So, but Richie's like fast. He's
crazy.
And also I got little kids right now, so for me it was hard because they want your time,
Of course.
And it's like, so I try to juggle all these little things, but working with Richie's been amazing because he pushes the pace on me. He makes me if I want to work and then I want to sit down, and he's like, but he's not like a dick about it. He's just like, and honestly, Dialect was like that too. Dash is like that too. All the guys who I've worked with that are serious.
They just know your potential.
Yeah,
they're like, come on,
let's go.
Yeah, we got.
It's
like going to the gym with somebody. You know what I'm saying?
You're like, I want to go to the gym.
Exactly. They're like, hey, get the fuck up.
Come on, man.
Let's do it.
Or they'll tell you like Friday we gotta get this done. So originally by October we're supposed to be done. And now I have until November 19th to turn on my. So it's like the art department. It's like your homework. It's like because he's got a bunch of songs and beats that he likes, and I got some. You got all these producers, Idle Hands. You got Beirut Productions. Shout out to Ray Dub and Jay Kane and all the Beirut cats. Yeah. You got like Yondo. Shout out to Yondo. You got. He's got a cat, 88 Keys, I believe.
88 Keys,
88 Keys. Mm-hmm. He's got that cat. He's got, we got some big songs. And he's got a song with this cat named David Bars from the East Coast. He's super dope. Like, he's like a young dude, but he's on some, like, he rocked with, like, DJ Premier, and he's just spitting. He's
Nice.
He's ill. He's like
Bars
a
and
Bronx
bars,
rapper.
yeah.
It's just like, when you listen to his songs, you're like that's what rap songs are supposed to sound like.
Fucking A, dude.
And
that's rare nowadays, kind of, honestly. Like, it's far and few between.
Well, and then rapping fast, like you rap fast. Like rapping fast is another game. You can rap. You can rapping fast and rapping clear is a whole thing in itself.
Yeah,
I agree. Yeah, definitely,
dude. It's like I can do it, but not always good. And like Darren Dove Toomer, my boy, he's phenomenal with the fast rap. He can. And he's freestyling it, which is just like...
Yeah, I think it comes with his melodies and shit. He's like... Dude,
it's just crazy. Hey, man, he is dancing on clouds. Character. He's dancing on clouds. It's crazy.
And he's also the nicest, like... He is a cartoon character, dude. He's like, dude, how are you a real person?
Dude.
He's like the nicest, coolest dude, the coolest energy.
Just music.
Been through the weirdest shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like...
Yep. And just music. Some of these guys... the music people, they radiate music. Like, not everybody is a music person. They might be in the music business. Maybe they're good at different things, but not everybody is like I'm kind of hyper. I kind of like big, powerful, in your face kind of macho beats. But like my guys, a lot of times the beat that they like is that, bloom, little, it's just real soft. And I'm like, oh, it's like I'm like, I want to, but it calms me down and I can get on the vibe because I start to try to listen to music through whoever's ears that is supposed to be listened to. Like, so like if I was here with you guys and we were listening to, if I kept putting on like the wrong songs and you guys are like trying to be cool, like, because you want to be like, you're trying to respect like what I like, but if you're just like, oh God, like I hate, that's the worst. Like, you know what I mean? And then, but if I could, maybe I could find one that I like and you like, and we can find a common ground on it. For sure. Or maybe I just appreciate it. I'm like, oh, I never thought of that. That's why he likes that or doesn't like that. And I'm like, maybe you might go, oh, I can see why that works. Like we were all at the studio late night and we were partying and everybody was liking it.
Oh yeah.
I know. I definitely know. I hate to say it, but I know Girls was a huge piece of like my direction. But I did want to make people happy, so I felt like Party became my direction.
That's why when I introed you, I was like, party maker. You've always been that. I've always noticed you as that. But obviously, that's a little bit different direction than what you're doing now with the art department. This is gonna be like some rap shit.
It's some deep
rap shit, right?
It's some rap shit. Here's the thing.
And November 19th.
I can honestly say I wanted to be dope. I was like, I'm gonna come out and I'm gonna be dope. I'm gonna be my best self. I'm gonna give them something that they want to hear. And then as we started making the songs, I kind of started storytelling, like even like what we're doing right now. I'm just like, telling stories. And I was like, okay, so then Richie's got the connections for all these producers. And so he's just coming with beats. His style of beats are very, like lately he's been doing a lot of like trappy type stuff. That's the sound of the, and then he'll put like an abstract sounds and like, singing a little bit of like, and so this one I wanted to do like, boom bap was the original tempo because then we can rap like that style, 90s style or whatever. But then he started coming with beats. He'd have like an Idle Hands. Idle Hands doesn't want to do boom bap. Idle Hands wants to do like, he's doing award-winning like, sound effect type beats. And then like Dialect's doing, he's got the Dowdy Brothers right now. Him and his brother are doing like electronic music. So they'll have like electronic trap. Yeah. I like you said, boom trap. Or just, just different trap power drums, because I feel like the drums dates your music. Like if we use like 1982 drums, Run DMC drums, even on Ableton, it's gonna sound like it would sound like an 80s beat. Yeah. And if you use like 90s, Cisco drums, it's gonna sound like that. And if you're using 2024 trap, but you can. It's how you want to freak it. You know what I mean? And so I think with us, we try to always pay homage to where hip hop came from. I tried to not like. So
it's a mixture.
It's a mixture. I try to pay homage to.
So it's boom trap.
It maybe because some things are very like they're not very slapping.
Is it an EP or full album?
So we have about 30 songs right now. Richie said,
"Wait, that's a double disc."
Richie said we can only have 14. So, all right. We're gonna whittle it down. So what's part of what's happening is off the top. natural selection is whichever songs are finished. So if your song isn't finished, and we were trying to make an album that you didn't have to skip, like you could just play it, and even if maybe you wanted to get into the words, and maybe the beat was just good enough that like there's a lot of guitar riff ones that are just kind of like good loops, and like I don't know, maybe you could just listen to it while you're getting ready for work, and then maybe you get into the words, and then maybe I'm a big one on hooks. Like I really want an award-winning hook. Like a lot of times it's singing, but if it's scratching, I like that. Or I just want it to be something that you want to sing, or the kids are singing, or the people in the crowd.
Some catchy.
I like that. So this is a mixture of that. So now we have all types of beats. Now it's MMA of music. It's mixed music arts, and it's like whatever works. If a double leg takedown works, then do it. Which maybe that's a boom bap beat. And if a knockout right cross works, that's a trap beat. It's just whatever it is. I wanted to be real on it. I didn't want to be fake, and I wanted to be helpful to my brothers and sisters out there. Maybe it's just through like giving them positive energy. Maybe it's just like saying something good, not like negative. And not to say that we're gonna paint a fake world, but just it's like a coach. It's like, yo, I could be like, yo, let's say you just dropped the ball. I could be like, what the fuck are you doing? Stupid, butterfingers. Or I could be like, look, watch the ball into your hands all the way.
Yeah.
And secure it before you start running. You dropped it because you started running first, and you're nervous. You know what I mean? And so look at that. Two ways to get at you. Oh, what the fuck? Slap you in the head, stupid. What are you doing? That's why I don't play you. You know what? Sit down. Get in there for him. And I feel like there's two ways to go at it, and maybe those will work. Maybe that's in the NFL. Maybe that's how you have to do it. but maybe when you're when you're on a local level or a building up each other level, you should be more like, what's it called, constructive criticism, but with some love, but with some real shit. Maybe like, give me something. Yeah, come on, Meta, you keep talking and you're not, you're blah blah blah, you're not staying on subject. Okay, back to subject. So that kind of segues a little bit into what I wanted to ask too, is like, speaking on the local scene and everything, of like what kind of your thoughts in a sense of like, because you've literally helped build it. You know what I mean? Have. Like you weren't even before the hip hop you weren't even here. Just like here during the beginning. You literally helped build it, and now it's a whole different entity in itself. Well, it's crazy because like you said, you guys were on tour with Unified School District. Yeah, like that's one of those crews that was here. You said Jimmy. Who was it? All those guys at the Hideaway. It was Tree Woods and all those guys. There's so many crews here. Intense Entertainment. There's different sides of the game. The Gators, Shorty T and Tanzani, Low New Breed. And and then these are the older guys. Now there's all these new young cats. Like, there's so many cats. Oh, Luck Pita and Yahemi, and then Glass Tongue. And so the scene, what I like about it is I feel like even though there's differences, I feel like people eventually accepted each other, even if they stay in their own lane. They weren't hating. It was competitive, but it was like there was a time where people started wanting to build, and that's when that's when the hip hop gets good, the culture gets good, where we're competitive. It's like, I want to make a song not just to like destroy you, but maybe to like, I want you to call me back and be like, yo, that new shit you did, it was crazy. And then I hear you sit down and maybe you make something not like that, but you did something to get out your box. And I'm like, yo, how'd you flip that sample? You're like, I use Nectar and I freaked the vocals. Shout out to Idle Hands. He was doing some of that stuff the other day. And, I watch my cats like Dialect or Dash, and they'll be making these kinds of beats, and I'll think I know everything. And then all of a sudden I'm like, wow, it just took me back to zero. I know nothing.
That's the best part about it, though. It humbles you without you even realizing it, Yeah, dude. And that's the way I feel like it should be sometimes, just to go ahead and let you realize that we all play this very small part of this gigantic thing that's going on. Dude. As important as you might feel or as cool as you might feel, we're all minuscule in the grand scheme of things, when it comes down to it. But I am very excited for this project. So it is going to be titled The Art Department.
The Art Department.
So is that the name of the album, or is that the name of your and Richie's?
Well, group? It's the name of the album, And I guess we don't really have a group because
So it's going to be just like
Metaphysical and Richie Panelli.
There's got to be a
Was
group.
that
Richie's got like 73 groups.
Dude, Richie's a beast, dude. He's all over the place.
No.
You know, and he's magical with it because, like I said, Dialect brought me to Richie, and then Richie brought it back. And I feel like we're at a time where Richie's got a nice platform. He just did like 3 albums, and then people are listening to him.
Yeah.
We're putting it out on Empire Records, which is through distribution.
Yeah, his distribution.
Yeah.
We talked about that.
And
when
Dash,
he was here,
my boy Dash is the one who's he's got a label called Cool Biz, and so we're putting it out on that label.
And I told Richie, I was like, "Hey, man,
but I mean,
help us out."
you guys should talk to him.
We'd be rapping a whole lot over it.
I think there's a lot. I mean, it's at a point now where the distribution is different, and I think put it out, let it get the catalog. Maybe you have a song that hits, then people are like, I want to find Glass Tongue, and then they find like all those hundreds of songs you guys got, and they find the videos, and maybe they just maybe you become part of their world, and that's like I think that's all.
That's the whole goal.
It's going to be the new one you guys are working on.
Yeah, we'll see.
Stratosphere, right?
We'll see. That's the name
dope.
of the beat.
The beat, yeah.
Nice.
Stratosphere.
Beat.
Yeah.
See, that's cool, man.
Anyways, we're not talking about us. We're talking about him.
I'm just saying.
I like it.
November 19th, the art department.
Well, that's the day we're going to Tom Gordon, and we're gonna master it over there. But he's super.
That's the
homework
final date of
master. That's
no
the day we're
more.
going in.
The
No
homework
more
has to
working.
be turned
Richie
in.
said I had to stop.
Okay, all right. Well, you guys know how active we keep it on the Instagram and shit like that. So we're going to let you know about this project. But we're not going to leave you without anything. We talked about Bella a few different times on this podcast.
Super dope.
And we are going to end the podcast with that song. It's Metaphysical, featuring Richie Panelli, who is a past guest, produced by Ethic, DJ
Ethic, yep.
Yeah, and we appreciate all of you guys. We appreciate you.
Yes.
Appreciate you, man.
So
And,
much. Give me a high five.
And for
I
everybody,
appreciate you too, brother.
and for everybody out there who enjoyed this, like we're gonna get you back on. There's just
Yeah.
not
Cool.
enough
No.
time in
I
one
know.
episode to get
We're gonna
to
have
get it
that.
all. So
You don't need to apologize.
this isn't the end,
You
everybody.
don't need to
We'll get 'em back
apologize
on.
because you've done so much in your life that we can't cover it in an hour and a half. We're just going to have you back on, which I'm excited about.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Very, very much so. And
sure.
Make sure you subscribe. Follow us on Instagram at The Rap Dad Podcast. Make sure you follow Melancholy at Melancholy775. Follow me at Reno Junes. Follow Metaphysical on Instagram at, what is it?
Metaphysical 1. The number
There you
1.
go.
Yep.
And also his YouTube page, his Metaphysical Videos.
Yep.
And all of that will be down in the description.
Yep.
As always.
And Black Rock City Allstars is at BRC Allstars.
Bingo bango. I'm sure a lot of you guys already know about it. If you don't, it's
Check us
fucking
out.
down in the description.
Yeah.
Thank you guys, and we out.
Peace.
Peace. Thank you.
Yo, Danny, yo, Metaphysics, Prentice, yo, DJ Eth, yo, driving to work, I saw 100 million zombies. In their car, late for work and sleep, sipping coffee. Yesterday, looked in the mirror and I saw me. In my car, late for work and sleep, sipping coffee. Yo, I'm at the edge, my mind's a sledgehammer that's been pinned up for 29 years. Just wanna talk to him, like put your hands in the air, just wanna hum to him and make it all disappear. I see the wheels spinning, I see the time slipping, I see the hunger in them, I see the swagger in them. Yo, cause these just words, but these could put a dagger in them. These just words, and how can you get so mad? It's like something you never get unless you saw it. It's like that movie where he couldn't get that chain off, so we sawed it right above his ankle and bled to death trying to run from it from every angle. Piece of me can never run from it. 12-something, work in the morning, feeling half awake. Stayed up working, writing script, all this for this passion's sake. Missed it while she's awake, all this for this music shit. Which if I strictly relied, couldn't even pay my rent. So I stick to 9 to 5s and stresses and paychecks. That non-risk that harnesses the talents. Go to sleep next to her and dream about balance. When the alarm hits,
Baby, wake up.
Bella made me wanna flip a cappella. In the whip switching lanes, still dream of switching things. Late for work, world turns to spit in my face. If I stop rapping today, someone is spit in my place. But I'm just a man behind the wheel of a minivan, lost in the caravan, stuck in the traffic jam. Condemned man in a rut with a tragic end. Something in my gut telling me to be all I can be. Somewhere between the army and Marines, and Air Force One cat still living off the fiends. Lives a song of peace in the land of New Balance. Metaphysical beasts provide you new challenge. Still, we gotta eat, so go get that dough. Sipping coffee in your sleep, need the wake up show. That's why we call it Bella or Bellissimo. Yo, it's hard to face the music, but at least we know. So
I get up, I can't get down. My whole situation goes. I get up, I can't get down. My whole situation goes. I get up, I can't get down. My whole situation goes. It's funny. It's funny. You think you know him? The nervous twitches, the eye blinks when he's nervous. Did you check how speech the slurred is? Folks I work with don't have a clue that I rapping. People that jerk with don't have a clue that I'm strapped. They're gonna notice like I'm pouring, I'm black. In New Orleans with a sign up that says please help him back. I see the wheel spinning, I see the time slipping, I see the demons grinning, I hear the angels whispering. There's something mysterious when you watch it, like a 2-year-old standing, waving a cocked shotgun, hungry like a young Jay when the streets still watch. I got a reasonable doubt that's probably what haunts him. The voices won't shut up, dog. I tried asking them. Every song I let you in my head, you try asking them. They all laugh it up. Damn, I gotta gas it up. Be lying if I said it makes no difference. If I had HIV and I shared my IV with the whole world, I think not one would get me. I say I'm over it when I'm over it, when I'm not losing sleep over it. With someone who just did 10 lines of coke and snorted and close their eyes and go to sleep quicker than me. Look me in my eyes, tell me what you see. Okay, I get up, I can't get down. My whole situation goes. I get up, I can't get down. My whole situation goes.